Let me step over here and say, okay, so we're going to talk about top 10 investor pitch fails. These are things, the top 10 list of things you don't want to do in your investment pitch. I'm from VentureSpur, and we are a seed accelerator and mentor-driven accelerator here in Oklahoma City, just upstairs. So we've got a table if you want more info. All right, ready to kick this off. I think my first slide was not set to go automatically unless you set it up to go automatically. There you go. Okay, number 10. All right, so pitch fail number 10, asking for funding for basic research. Don't do this. So don't ask investors to pay for basic research. If you need to do basic research, go get a research grant, get that done. What you will find when you go out to raise money is that most of the people that you're competing with have already got a commercializable product. So if you find yourself in a situation or you suspect that you're in a situation where you are trying to do basic research, don't go out and try and raise money for that. Go get a grant. There's lots of grants for that. Fail number 9, addressing too small a market. This is one that we see pretty often. So when you go out to raise money, you might have a great business plan, might have a great product, you might have great profitability on your business model, but if you are going out to address a market overall that is too small to build a large business that justifies investment, it's going to be really, really hard to raise money. So this is one, you want to be really careful that you are going out to a large pool or a fishbowl, as I have here, and you're going to be able to grow and grow and grow and grow, because that is what investors are looking for. We see awesome business plans that are not in large markets, and that's not going to be right for raising capital. Another thing you want to watch out for is building a bridge to nowhere. You want to be sure that whatever offering you have, even if it's relatively modest, has in your plan and in your presentation and what you're presenting to investors is something where you've got follow-on markets, you've got follow-on products, follow-on ways for you to grow your market quickly, and be sure that you're communicating those clearly in your pitch. Sometimes we see great pitches, but they don't tell what comes next. Investment pitch fail. Number 7, not sufficient differentiation from other either startups, products. Sometimes we'll see people pitching something that unfortunately we can tell ultimately if another larger player came in and added that as a feature to their product would kick that company out of the market. That's really a problem. That's going to be really hard even if you've got the best thing going for investors to back, because they're going to see that, they're going to know that, and you put yourself in a situation where you can't raise money. The other thing that we sometimes see is companies that haven't sufficiently removed as much risk as possible, whether it's regulatory risk or competitive risk or a partnership they're totally dependent on. And so we always want to be sure when helping people prepare a presentation that they have done everything they can to control the things that they can, and anything they can't control they have explained clearly and thoroughly so investors feel comfortable with that risk. Very, very important. So, pitch fail number 5, not having the team lined up. When you go out, you want to be able to convince investors that you know what success looks like and you're going to be able to put their money to work very quickly with an incredibly talented team. Even if you can't hire these people now, have their resumes in your presentation, have them lined up and ready to go. This is something that investors really, really want to see. They want to see what you're going to do, and oftentimes the very first thing you need is excellent talent. Go get it now before you try and pitch. Oftentimes, people will go ahead and sign on even if you can't pay them yet. So it's good to go ahead and get them involved. Investment pitch fail number 4 is begging for money. The best time to go raise money is when you don't desperately need it. If you need the next round of funding just for your company to survive, go back and rethink it, look at your plan, look at sustainability, so that you can make a genuine argument to investors that you are raising money for growth. If you are raising money for growth, marketing, development of something, your next phase, whatever you're doing, those are all much easier ways and can really, if you're successful, guarantee you can raise money if you can move on. Investments pitch fail number 3, not really knowing your market or your product. You've got to be able to prove that you really know your market, you really know your product, you really know what you're trying to provide. There are lots of ways to do that. Publishing white papers on the B2B side, publishing how-to videos, whatever you can do to prove that you really know your product in depth and it's not just hanging out there is critically important. Related to that is pitch fail number 2, biggest one, people talk about this a lot these days, do not develop in a vacuum. Whatever you do, get your product out there, be talking to clients, and what you'll find is good clients who are really interested in your product will go ahead and sit down and talk with an investor about why they found your product interesting. Get testimonials, get letters, do anything you can to validate your market. That's absolutely critical. these days to compete for capital to be able to show that you are talking directly to people who are going to use it. Finally, pitch fail number one, and this is the one that you really don't want to fall into, is not being coachable. Investors are looking for startup founders and entrepreneurs that are listening, that are looking for advice, looking for mentorship, that are really out there trying to get the best advice that they can. And if you come across as someone who's going to be difficult to work with, you end up in a situation where investors are going to go look at something else. So always be coachable. Listen to advice, adjust as quickly as you can, do the research, make it work, and if you avoid all of these, you have a much better chance of raising your money. Thank you very much.